All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Coffee and Crafts. It's John in the garage. How we doing? I need to get my mouse here to do a couple of things. Good morning, everybody. This is going to be an interesting show. I hope it's interesting. It could be the worst show or the best show I ever do. We'll find out here in about an hour. But I'm not going to do my normal routine. We're not going to do the regular setup, introductions, whatever else, because I'm not set up for it out here. I have no way really to change the screen from where I'm standing and everything else, and I'm going to be walking around quite a bit. But I want to talk about, we've been talking about practice this whole week. Practicing your betting, practicing your words, practicing your strategies, practicing your profit, how you play with profit, how you manage your rack. Today, what I want to talk about is practicing your throws. And as you know, let's level set here. I'm not there yet on dice control, right? I'm not very good at it. I practice quite a bit. I'm going to show you the way that I practice and the things that I practice. I think that if anybody's going to get good at it, it's going to be me because of the way that I approach things. And I want to show you my approach to practice, the way that I have taught myself to do what I do here. And I hope that what I show you today works not just for dice influence. As a matter of fact, I know it doesn't. I'm going to show you techniques that I use in every other thing that I do. And I'll switch screens here in a second. We'll talk about other sports specifically, and the way that I coach young players in sports. I think it's going to make a little bit of sense. And when I show you how I translate that to the craps table, I hope that it's a help today. And I think a lot of us go into this thing blindly. I did. I certainly went into Dice Influence completely blind, working from video and that kind of thing, and trying to figure out what the hell to do. And when I apply the way that I coach kids to play baseball, and I coach adults to play golf, this is what I come up with. And I want to show you and share with you kind of some of the things that are, I think, important to me. So give me a second here to kind of work the mouse and change some things up here, and we'll get to it. I need 1 second here. I'm going to go here and there. Okay, we should be back now. Can you see me? There we go. Sorry about this. It's going to be weird because I don't have my little buttons to push. But let's talk about our mechanics. And regardless of the sport, if it's golf, if it's bowling, if it's baseball, if it's throwing the dice, all of these things are the same, okay? And I think there's a cross-cutting thing here that I hope comes through. And the first of those is going to be mindset. Now, you talk to or read anything, and I know we have, I think D-Gen's in the audience here. So Chris, I want you to back me up on this. I know you were at one point a semi-pro golfer. Golfers are all about vision. Close your eyes, see the shot. Close your eyes, see the shot. Feel yourself through the shot. Execute the shot, right? The mental preparation of playing golf translates to all the sports, bowling, whatever else it is, right? So I think having a vision and seeing what it is you want to accomplish, I think is step one. Getting your mind right is one. I had this note here about feel and vision, and I'm a big feel person. And what I mean by feel is not what you think. What I mean by feel is literal feel. But we'll talk about this in a minute. But when I'm doing something, like let's say when I'm playing golf, and I'll show you my golf swing. It's not very good, but I'll show you my golf swing. At the end of my swing, one of the things I make a mental note of is what does it feel like? Like literally, where is the club touching my shoulder when I'm done with my swing? Where is my knee pointing? What does my foot feel like? Like, am I on the balls of my feet? Am I on the heel of my foot on a perfect shot? And I try and make a lock. I try and lock down the feeling that I had so that when I do the next shot, if I don't feel the same way, if my foot feels different, I know something went wrong, right? So I try to what I call imprint the feeling of a successful shot, again, whatever the sport, in my brain. And that's a big part of working it so that you have not only the vision ahead of time, but when it works out, what am I feeling? And at the craps table, it might be where on my hip is it hitting? Or am I touching the table? Or am I leaning into the table too much or too little? Those are things I'm looking at, right? When I know it's a good shot, I'm trying to recreate not only the result, but I want to recreate this feeling in my body of where I am and how my hands felt at the end of the shot. So I think that's an important thing. Then I put here about muscle memory and building muscle memory, whether it's throwing the dice or whether it's hitting a golf ball or hitting a baseball, muscle memory is huge, right? That's where the practice comes. That's where, throwing, as Ed would say, 72 tosses a day, whatever the number is that you want to shoot, right? Those tosses are designed not to get you 15 roll hands during the practice session. Maybe for Ed it is now because he's so accomplished, or George or somebody, right? for guys like me that are still learning this, those 72 tosses are our dial-in time. That's where you visualize, throw, get the feel, analyze your results, and start rinsing and repeating, right? You start using what your body's telling you, what your eyes are showing you to craft muscle memory. And those 72 shots should all look and feel the same. Results aside, they should look and feel the same. With the chopper that I throw especially, mechanically that throw has got a very good visual that I can tell if I'm on it or not. So that's what we're looking for in the muscle memory phase. And then of course you get into execution, right? Once you got all that down, then it's about executing. And then you're working on like what Ed's working on, or these more accomplished shooters are working on, which is executing all of it. Have the vision, get the right feel, rely on my muscle memory, and execute repeatedly. That's what makes a great golfer. That's why pros are pros at golf. That's why pro bowlers always throw strikes, because they can execute, but they've got perfect muscle memory, and they've got perfect vision, and they feel the same way every time that they execute a great shot. And I think those are the secrets, right? This is the mental side of the game here that I think, again, regardless of what you're applying it to, I think that's a critical piece to being successful in any endeavor that we do that's mechanical, that's got some mechanical or athletic component to it. Those are the things that I want to kind of focus in on today. So let me go ahead and change my screen again. And then we're going to start looking at the actual swing and kind of my practice habits and my adjustments. Let me go here and do this here. We're going to go one screen ahead. All right, we'll stay here for a while. And what I want to talk about here is a couple of things that we're going to really kind of get into. And let's actually, I'm going to change my camera view. So I'm going to walk around, I'm going to change the view, and we're going to actually show you a couple of things here. So give me a second to kind of reset the room a little bit. And I think if I do this, hold on a second, if I get here, my apologies for the dirty garage, but I think, let's see, can you see all of me here? Yeah, pretty much. Let me get this over here, maybe a little bit more. There we go. There's the famous Pro Craps Garage. Apologies for the mess. And if I'm here, can you see? All right, that's good enough. Okay, I'm going to look. You're going to look at the back of my head while I read my screen here. So again, mindset is an important piece of it. And when I go through this, I want to remove some words from your vocabulary. Okay, so we're going to remove the words don't, but, and try. And there's reasons. Can you see my face? There's reasons for that. Okay. They're negative words, and I really want you to be positive when you're working on something new or working on something old, okay? And here's the reasons why. When I say but, we'll start there. But removes a positive thought. So if I say to you, you're really pretty, but your breath stinks, right? I gave you a compliment, and then I said but, and then that's all you're gonna remember is the second thing. It negates what I said earlier. So when you're doing practice, and he said, that was a great shot, but, or that was awesome, but, you're negating what you did. And especially when you're your own coach, that can be horrific for your mental state. So replace the word but with next time. So I say things to kids like, for example, let's just take the baseball swing. And this is a golf trainer, so I know it's gonna look weird to do a baseball thing with golfing. But if I see a kid release his hands too early, right, in a swing, he releases them before impact or right at impact instead of following through and then releasing after the ball's gone. I might tell that kid, that was an amazing swing. I love how your hips came through and you planted yourself in. Next time, keep your hands in there a little longer, release later. That's what I'll say to him, right? I will not say, that was a great swing, but you released your hands too early, because the great swing part goes away. I don't want to say, that was a great, your hips flexed perfectly, that was awesome, but you let your hands go and you lost all your power. Right? We don't want to do that to the kid, right? And again, to yourself, great throw, but whatever. So make sure that you're exact too. Great throw, but is not good advice to yourself, okay? Way to have your hips in there and stay solid. Way to do that. Next time, stay in the table, because I do this a lot. I'll do a throw and I'll back off as I'm throwing. I got to remind myself, that's perfect form. Next time, stay locked into the table. Those are things, that's your self-talk that you want to get, right? The next one is going to be try. I try never to say try. Why? What does try do? Try gives you permission to fail. Hey, try and climb that wall. Oh, you didn't get it? Nah, try again. Okay? We tell our kids, climb the wall, right? I tell myself, throw the dice. Land it in the cup when I'm throwing the dice. Land it there. I don't say try to get it on the 12 in the field. I say we're going to land it in the cup. We're going to land it on the number 12. And if I don't land it in the cup that I want, that's when I get into, okay, good release, good form. Next time, hold the dice a little longer. Or next time, keep your hands a little straighter. Or next time, let's slow the swing down a little bit. Okay? Those two work together. We don't try to do things, we do things, and if it doesn't work out for us, we adjust and figure out why it doesn't work out. That's an important mental piece to this whole thing too. And again, that works great in bowling. You know, boom, I'm gonna try and get a 7-10 split. And if I don't get it, it's not I suck, and it's not I tried, I failed, whatever, it's a hard split to make. No, it's make the 7-10 split. And if you don't do it, you say next time, we wanna get our release point a little bit more towards the gutter to get the full action of our spin because we missed the pin. There's an adjustment to make there. And that's how you talk through that, okay? And the worst one of all is don't. I think don't is the biggest negative word we have. And the reason for that is your brain, you think in pictures. You may not know this, you think in pictures. No matter what I'm telling you, you're making a mental image of that thing in your brain every single time. And your brain has no picture for don't. This is an interesting psychological thing. There's no way to see don't. If I say don't think of a big pink elephant, you can't not see that now. You saw it when I said it. So when we say to somebody, don't do this, don't open up your hips backwards to the shot, or don't plant your foot, all they can see is themselves planting their foot. If I say don't release your hands early to a baseball player, all they can see is the early release of the hands. You follow me? So when you use the word don't, you're painting the negative picture, and it's not negative, but you're painting or imprinting on somebody, or yourself, if you're self-coaching, the one thing you shouldn't be doing. So you want to eliminate the word don't from your vocabulary and always go to do. It's always an adjustment, okay? Instead of saying, don't do X, say, I want you to do Y, right? Make sure your foot is planted and pointed straight at your target. That's the way that you want to talk to yourself. And if you're coaching somebody, that's how you deliver the message. I think it's a powerful message to be positive. Get rid of the word try. Don't allow yourself to try stuff, do stuff. Get rid of the word but, and make sure that you're imprinting the right thing that you did and then enhancing it with a next time. And of course, get rid of the word don't, because the word don't, I think, is the most negative or most harmful because it imprints the thing you do not want to see into your head. Because again, you can't see don't. All you can see is doing it. It's an important piece, okay? That's your positive words, okay? Now, as far as everything else goes, we're gonna work backwards, okay? And you can see here, I've got a list, and I wanna do a thing called backward shaping with you, and I'm gonna show it to you here. I can show it to you both in golf and baseball. It's nice, it's a nice visual while I'm standing up, but we wanna work from the end instead of from the beginning. A lot of people let's start with your grip, right? If it's here, start with your grip, okay? And sure, the grip is something you have to kind of master, right? But when you're learning the skill of dice control, right? We put our dice down here. The first thing I'm not working on my set to get started, right? What I'm working on is the mechanics of the toss. Let's take a baseball swing for an example, okay? And hopefully you can see the whole thing, right? So if I'm at the plate, right, and I'm ready to swing, and here comes the pitch, right? And I boom, and I come through it, right? That's more of a golf swing. Let's do it again. If I go bam, right, and I swing. Here's what I'm looking at, right? I'm here, right? I've let the bat go, and what do I feel, right? And again, I'm looking at just this part of the swing. Right now, my back foot, I'm not sure if you can see my back foot. My back foot, I'm on my inside, my big toe ball of the foot. My foot is actually angled a little bit like this. I'm on the big toe ball of the foot. My knee is pointed directly at the camera. It's right at the pitcher. Like I'm pointing right at him. My chest, because my hips flexed, right at the pitcher, right? And when I'm here at the end, what I feel with my hands is this. I see my elbow right in front of me, and I'm pointing at left field. My other hand is straight up. And I can feel where my shoulder flex is. And if I remember that every time, bam, every time I feel the same thing. The same ball my foot is on, my knee is flexed, my left knee is locked, my chest is pointed at you, and I can see my hand over here straight every single time. So we have our kids start with that. Boom. Start here, feel that again, start here. And you see the rhythm, I'm building a little rhythm here. Start here. And once they start getting the repeated feel of this, now we bring to the ball and the tee. And it's just literally here. It's like crack, let go. Crack, let go. And we start building the shot. We build the swing backwards, and it works in golf too. The same thing. If you're in golf and you have a great swing, what am I seeing? I'm looking right out over my elbow. I'm looking right out straight at my elbow. That's where that ball's going, right? I'm looking at my chest and my hips facing my target, right? If I oversnap it and I'm here, that's going to be a slice or a duck hook, right? Because my arm is not where it needed to be. It wasn't here, it's down in here, right? So you imprint the feel of a perfect shot, and then I work backwards. I'm here, no ball, just boom. And I feel what that feels like. And again, where's my elbow? What are my legs doing? That's how I imprint myself a perfect golf swing, or perfect baseball swing. And over time, we come back, build the rhythm through the ball and let go. Back here, through the ball and let go. And we work on the load. Finally get down to the grip and the setup. All those things, when I work backwards, create a great shot from the end forward. And I think that imprints a positive view of things. Let's go to the craps table. I'm going to lock into here, and hopefully you can see. Let's see, if I get here, I practiced this enough yesterday. I think we should be able to see what I want to show you here. So let's go. Actually, I'm going to change the view. Give me a sec. I'm going to change the view. I have a view of a bigger view of the camera. So let's try this one. There it is. That's a better view of it. All right, let's look at this. So can you see? Let's get here a little bit more this way. All right. So let's take a look at my chopper toss. And I'll do both the chopper and the par style toss, okay? And again, what the dice are, the set doesn't matter. I will show it to you though, like this. I'll try and get it here so you can see the sixes. I have the sixes. Well, maybe you can't see. Maybe the three's going that way. Hold on a second. Give me a second here to I want to get the dice in a way that you can see what I want you to see as we come through here. Hold on a second. Let's do that. I think if I go here, can you see the sixes? You can. That's the sixes showing up on the side. I want to make sure that when I do this, you can see. So in the chopper, when I have my perfect release, to me, the perfect release is this. Now, you can't see my hips unless I show you like this. Let me go back over here. When I'm into the table, right, I have my left hip, it's up into the rail. And my right foot, although you can't see it, I'm on my left foot, all my weight. My right foot is a little bit back. So my hips are opened up so I can get to the end of the table better. Instead of being square, the par toss, you want to be more square and have this perfect like level shot. With this toss, I open up a little bit so that I have better motion. Part of that's because my shoulder's bad, okay? But here we go. When I throw this right here, I'll throw one and I'll leave my hands where they would be, right? I'm gonna throw it, and I want you to look at my hands. Oh, you know what? You can't see my hands. Let me go there. Let's try that again. And then I'll come back over and we'll look at my shot. If I go here, yeah, you can see. So watch my hand. Watch what I do. I'm gonna take my shot and leave my hand where it is. Okay? Couple things to notice here with me. My first finger is pointed backwards a little bit. Not pointed straight down, it's pointed a little bit backwards. I know that, and I can feel this right here. I can feel this tendon up in here stretching a little bit. That's part of my feel. My thumb is pointed at the wall. Because when I throw it, there's that little twist at the end, and I'm feeling my finger pointing down and back, and feeling my thumb pointing across at the wall. That's my feel. I also feel my hip still in the table. My weight on my left foot, as I throw it, it moves from my toes to my back of my heel when I do that. When I get a good throw off, it's a little tiny bit of weight transfer. Okay, and of course my right foot, you can kick it and it wouldn't matter because I'm not even on it. It's just there so I don't fall over. My replication, when I work backwards on this toss, is this. So I'm here, right? I'm here. And I feel this over and over again. I'm just feeling this. So when I get the dice in my hand, I'm literally just going here. I'm going to be here. And I just over and over again. Just take my dice, stack them up, and I'm here. And I'm just working that. Just working the flick. from right here, just going. And I want to see that I get that same feel every time of a little bit of weight transfer and a little bit of flick. I know what I'm pointing at. If I'm working par, and again, I'm not a par coach or a good tosser at all, but the feel is different. Here, again, I'm parallel to the table, right? I'm feeling it hit my belt line right now. My left hand is always on the thing. When I let this shot go, what am I looking at here? My thumb pointed not all the way down because my thumb is, I'm not double jointed, but it's a little bit forward. And my fingers are pointed straight down the alley. If I looked over my fingers, they're literally right over the, if I come here, from this pass line to that pass line, and I let my thumb go when I release it. So I can work on just that. I can get out here and I can go, just work on that. Doesn't matter if I'm flicking them. I'm just working on what it feels like to finish strong and see my hand out there, right? Get here, and I can see again, my fingers are perfect, my thumb is pointed down, and I know what I'm feeling. It's all about how does that perfect release feel? So I know that if I do this, if I come up here and I go, and my release is like this, you can see my hand is, you can see the inside of my hand now before you can see this. If you're seeing that, well, there's a problem with my toss. That's easy to adjust, but I lock in, I muscle memory this so I know. Straight out, straight down. And when I'm throwing the dice, that's what I'm looking for first, is releasing perfectly. No different than a baseball player finishing with the bottom, with the top hand off. You follow me? It's muscle memory, it's building in that good feeling. And then we work it backwards. Let me get these dice up here. And again, you're gonna make a mess, it doesn't matter. I'm not trying for results. I didn't even look at the dice. I don't care what they were, right? Let's bring them all back. Okay, once I've got that down, then I can work a little bit of the release itself, okay? Again, I'm just playing with the final bit of it, then I can work release. Then what I'll do is I'll take a little bit, remember we talked rhythm with the baseball players? I can just go from here, and it's just, did that work? Right? How did that feel when it went out? Right here, and I can see my fingers are in the right spots and my weight shifted correctly over and hundreds of those things. Right? Work just that little last 6 inches or 7 inches of it, just a little to get it feeling right. Once I have that feel down of what the move to the release feel, and again, for the par player, you're straight in, and I'll be here. It's gonna be like a, that's it. Do I feel my thumb releasing correctly? Do I feel in the par toss from right here, do I feel my thumb letting go or my fingers throwing them? Because that's my adjust. My feel on this one, my muscle memory here, is my thumb letting go, not my fingers flicking like this. So the feel that I'm looking for, the one I'm trying to imprint on my brain here, literally is from here to here, and my thumb being the release point, not my fingers being the flick point. Does that make sense? And again, I realize when I talk about par stuff, I'm not the expert. This is more of a George, Ed, whoever thing, heavy or whoever else. That's not my style. But I'm giving you the things that I would work on if I'm making that shot. And then, of course, we back it up. Again, once you get the muscle memory for the release point and the into the release, now I can work the velocity. And I can work from the table. And again, I'm not working load yet, but I can work a little bit lower. And now I start working on velocity and height, okay? And what I do for that, I have a target. I'll show you the targets in a minute, but I'm looking to hit a target. And I'm like, from here, am I hitting my target? And again, I gotta stop, look, and listen every single time. So it's here. Look at my fingers every single time. Are my fingers doing the right thing every single time? Pointed down, pointed out, pointed down, pointed out every single time. So I'm getting that same height. I should be at the same height. I should be every time right there. My arm should look to you the exact same every single time I throw this dice. Every single time. That's muscle memory, okay? Then it becomes, okay, I can change things. I can add more speed to it. If I'm down here, it's the same throw, right? I'm still straight, I'm still pointed down and back, I'm still pointed at the wall, but it was a little more velocity from back here. You follow me? You can make your adjustments, but you gotta have that perfect muscle memory. And like I keep reminding you, no different in bowling, right? You can change your release point in bowling, right? You don't have to go all the way, you can go in front of the line or in back of the release line. You can go either side of the of the lane to change your stuff, right? All that comes when you've built in the muscle memory. And then of course, then we get down to working on, okay, now I'm down here and it's all about the grip. How am I gonna hold the dice in each of your tosses? And frankly, when I get to the load phase too, because I can load this and it's hard to see here. Maybe I can show you from here. I'll do it out. This is not how I actually throw it, but I'll do it from here, as you can see. Sometimes I load in front of me. So if you can see my arm here, sometimes my load is way out here. So this is directly in front of me. This is about 8 to 10 inches ahead of me. Sometimes I'll load from here, right, and have a super soft little tiny shot. Sometimes I will load from directly in front of me. When I'm down farther on the table, my load moves from in front to in back. That gives me the extra 6 inches of push, but I practice the release from here, like that, and I practice the release from deeper, from back in here, to change velocity types, right? And again, that's load. That's, like I say, in golf, to me, that the equivalent of golf right there, if I'm gonna be, can you see this better? If I'm here with my start point, or if I'm here with my start point, that's the equivalent of having a driver, longer club out front versus a wedge off your back inside heel. You follow me? You have different ways to set up for different kinds of shots. And I think dice is no different. Just depends on where you're at. And again, these mechanics are the things that drive everything. I think this is the most important piece of this thing, is getting these fundamentals down. And when you have that, then you can start working on the important stuff, like the execution piece. So once I've got imprinted on in my brain the muscle memory that it takes to release perfectly every single time, straight arm, thumb down, finger out, right? All the things that I'm looking for in my shot. When I've got that dialed in and I've got my run up to the release, that I'm always down the line, I'm always straight, I'm always looking from my hand here, I'm looking down the pass line every single time. When I start seeing that over and over again and I'm good, I move back and I move back and I move back, and then it becomes a full shot. And at this point, we start making our critical adjustments, okay? And I'll show you how I practice that. Give me a second here to, again, change the view for you. I'm gonna change the view and I'm gonna change the cameras too, so give me a second. Oh God, look at the dirty garage. I'm so sorry. You have to see how my gross setup is, but let's go here. This should be a view. Should be, hold on. There we go, that's what I'm waiting to see this view here. We're gonna go here. And I'm gonna try and get this here. There we go. You can see the shot happening from my end, and you can see the landing zone. Now I'm gonna do something in the landing zone for you, which is this. And this is, by the way, can you see it? Piece of Tupperware. This is a Tupperware little bowl, okay? It's about, I don't know what that is. Maybe that's 5 inches wide or 6 inches wide, something like that. It's a, whatever. I know that some people use something smaller, like a coffee cup or like a roll of tape, like a duct tape kind of thing. But that right there is an aiming spot. Now I try on the chopper to land it either on the 12 or in the come, depending on where I'm standing and depending on what I'm trying to do with the shot. When I'm doing the super light shot, I want to land it on the 12 in the field and have it bounce, bounce, bounce into the back wall. Okay? So again, now I'm probably going to miss this thing every single time. And notice that I'm not setting my dice at all. Not setting my dice at all. The garage is pretty gross, isn't it, Blacklight? So watch here. You can't see my ugly face, which is good. And I'm just going to set up. And again, part of my process, you see me on tape all the time. Like, somebody said I'm cheating. This is what I do. I get my set, right? It doesn't matter what the set is here, but I get my set. And what I do is I pull back to here, off the edge. That's when I reset, because right here I'm leaned in on my right foot and stuff. When I set back, that's when I shift my weight to my left foot and my hip gets pushed into, you can't see it here, my hip is pushed into the table. And I'm out here, and because I'm close, my release point or my launch point is about 3 inches ahead of my arm being straight. It's a little bit ahead, and I missed it. Of course I missed it. First shot of the day, I'm gonna miss it. I'll do it again. I touched it. Right over it. Again, you gotta dial in, man, it's hard. This is not easy. There we go, hit the edge again. I'm just a little bit ramped up here. You can't see it, but we were talking about being nervous the other day, about like When did the nerves at the table go away? I'll tell you what, doing a lesson like this has me a little bit nervous. I think my adrenaline's a little high, but there we go. And with this toss, I don't want the dice to be flying together so much. I want them to be a little bit separate. So a lot of times for me, one will land in. I'm missing that thing by a centimeter every single time. They're right over it. There we go. Just missing it. But that's a target for me. They're all hitting right here. Every one of those shots hit the end of it, so which means I'm a little bit ramped up as we go. But that's a way to target practice. And again, if you're doing par, it's here. Your landing spot is down the end for the par toss, right? You're looking 6 inches off the back wall, and you're going to set up in here. And again, I'm not worried about the set. I'm just going to set straight, right? A little short. I'll just do a couple of those. A little short. I'm not a par shooter, obviously, but yeah, I am not a par tosser. But you get the idea, right? We're looking for. There we go. Both in the buck. That's what you want. Both in the landing zone. If you can catch it, you can catch it. And again, muscle memory. Let the adrenaline kind of wash away, and then there's that. So that's one tool that I use. One mechanical tool that I use is that to practice landing zone. And that works, by the way, from everywhere. Now, if I'm at the end, shooting from way back, and I'll try it for you here. Again, I'll take these out of here. When I'm at the way end, I do it a couple of ways from back here. Let's put these dice, I'm going to slide them up. So give me a second here to move them more towards me. You won't be able to see my release quite so much, but if I'm way back in the back, stuck in the hook or something like that, right? With the chopper from back here, it's a hard shot, but I want to be really, really soft with it. Like I don't want to be like all the way down the table, right? Shooting like that. I want to be super soft from back here. And I'm going to, again, look, I moved the bucket back a little, about halfway up the field, and I'm looking to drop it right in from back here, a little bit of a shorter toss. Boy, I'm so close to it. So close to it. Just, you get the idea. That's what I'm trying to get the landing zone changed back a little bit. And the last tool that I use is this one. This is the most important one for me when I was first learning or trying to teach myself stuff. And this, I know when guys learn, when we teach baseball, what I'll often do is I will hold a stick or a bat out front of the kid. And as he's swinging, like right in front, like pretend there's a tee right here, like a tee with a ball on it. I'll put the stick or the other bat right over top of the tee. And it's a target, don't hit my bat. Like you stay off that bat right now. You make sure that your swing is below that bat, right? If you hit the bat, we're gonna clang. And it drives them into a straight line swing. I'll raise the bat when I want them to go uppercut, and I'll lower the bat when I want them to hit a ground ball, right? We'll start working on swing levels. Well, here on dice, the same thing is true. Okay, let me take this bucket out of the way for now. I'll put it back in a minute, but I've got this that I bought from Amazon. This thing here is a shoe rack. Can you see that? It's a shoe rack, and I think it's 8 inches tall. Maybe it's 7 inches tall, okay? And I can see through it. When I put it out here, I can see through it, all right? This, for me, is a reminder to keep my shot low or high. Now, right there, it's on top of the 12. It's the 12 for the field is right in the middle of it. Ideally, I can throw the dice low enough that they go under this thing and hit the 12. I want them to be under and hit that 12 because that's going to give me the skip that I want. I want these dice to kind of skip into the back wall, right? This is a reminder not to do this, not to throw them too hard. If I throw them too hard, they go over it, or sometimes they'll land on top of it. I want to get my dice to where I'm here, and I'm going to get myself set up. I'm going to stay nice and low out front and land. That was perfect on the 12, but underneath the thing. It keeps me, look at that. Where's my target bucket now? That's 2 perfect shots. Right under the thing, right on the 12, every single time, okay? If I'm working a drop shot, I'll do this. I'll drop it to the back, and I'll have it landing. It's covered. I'm not sure if you can see how good that is, but it's right over top of the don't pass bar. To you, it looks like it's more towards the end because the camera's angled, but the don't pass is right here. This is the don't pass. So if I'm working more of a drop shot, which sometimes you want to on a certain table surface, now I have a higher target, and now I'm going to have to go over it a little bit. This might be more of a, what do you call it? Like a a knuckleball type of shot. Maybe I'll grab the dice like this and drop it right over the thing. And I'm practicing again, setup, release, velocity. And I'm working over top of that thing. And I got about a 3-inch window behind it where I can drop them in. Oh, that's on top, terrible. Right over it. There, perfect. That's what I'm looking for, right? So when I practice, I'm practicing all the different things. And I think just like on a golf course, right? You're gonna practice from the sand trap, you're gonna practice from the rough, you're gonna practice greenside, you're gonna practice from dirt, all the different things you can do, because sometimes you're making that high Phil Mickelson sort of a, what do you call it? The space wedge shot. Sometimes you're basically putting with your 7-iron from the fringe. All those things matter. And I think when you set yourself up for success down here, you're working on the things that are important and dialing in your spin rates and everything else. And that's the way that I practice. But all that comes from, and let me go back to this view here with the messy garage. Oh, look at that. Sorry for the weirdness there. Let's go back over here. And I'll just switch to the other screen again. Man, I'm so sorry about the, I know I'm over apologizing for the mess, but it's a garage after all, right? It is a garage. Let's go. I think it's this one. There we go. Let's see. Actually, I want the other screen. I want this one here. That one. Nope, not that one. Where's the other screen that I was on before? The one with the. Hold on, I'll find it. That one? No. Where is the damn thing? It is. Oh, it's that one right there. Sorry. I want to get the words back so you can see the words. There we go. All right, that's what I'm talking about. And let's get here so you can see me again. I think that was over here. This is why you need like a professional studio and producer to do this. This has to go up a little bit so you can see my whole face. Sorry about that. There we go. Is that better? Hey, I'm back. What do you know? I hope that was good and entertaining for you. And again, I'm doing it with dice tossing, right? And people will say, you're insane for even trying this, right? There's all that, all the randomness, all that can go wrong. I get it. What I'm trying to do is give you a methodology to practice with. And again, this is the way that I teach people. When I teach kids to play baseball, when I work on golf, when I'm learning how to bowl, this is the way that we approach it, right? Visualize your endpoint. Where do you want to be? Feel what it feels like to finish perfect. That, to me, that feel, when I feel I'm in the table and I know that my weight has shifted a little bit and I can feel what's going, I know. I can close my eyes and know that was a perfect shot. Even if it's a 7, I can tell it was a perfectly executed shot. Now, the dice result is what the whole debate is about, right? Can I actually influence the result? That's not what I'm here to talk about. I'm here to talk about mechanics. How do I have perfect mechanics? If perfect mechanics lead to better results, then fine. I know that they do in golf. I know that it works in baseball. I know it works in bowling. I know it works in volleyball, right? Look at volleyball, where you come down and you spike, right? Where are your feet? When you're in the air, where's your back foot? Where's your front foot? What does it feel like? Where's your backhand? Is your backhand, because you've come and you've swung, where do you feel your left shoulder and your right shoulder, Chris, when you're teaching a spike? It's all the same. This works in all sport. Work backwards. Work from the perfect finish to the lead to the finish to the load and to the execution of it. You do all that, you'll be a better golfer, a better bowler, a better baseball player, a better volleyball player, a better whatever it is you want to do, and maybe a better dice tosser. It's all about vision. It's all about mental preparation. It's all about being positive, right? We're not going to try anymore. We're going to do. We're not going to say but anymore. We're going to say, that's great. Specifically, I really thought that was perfect. Next time, do this. We're going to eliminate the word don't. Don't do X. All you can see is yourself doing X. Direct yourself or whoever you're coaching into other places. Okay? Instead of don't do X, say please do Y. Next time we're going to do this. Adjust your foot this way so that next time you don't fall on your ass. Okay? Adjust your foot here. When you're playing football, right? Boom, you're down in your stance. If your foot's jacked up, if your foot's not centered so you can drive forward and your foot is sideways, guess what's going to happen? You're going to fall back because you have no pivot point or no access point. You say to your kid, you got knocked on your ass, what happens? Next time, get your foot straight. Just make sure your weight has a stable place to be. and that'll prevent you from falling down. That's how we teach forward motion, right? Forward directional thinking. So there it is, backward shaping, positive mental attitude. Get it done, folks. That's how I do everything I do. People say I'm the most positive person in the world because I trained with a sports psychologist to teach me this way to teach and coach. And it's really helped me as a coach of kids. It's helped me learn this toss inside of a year. I'm not good at it yet. I still need lots more muscle memory, lots more adjustments, but I'm getting there and I have my keys. Follow me? So that's my whole show today. That's it. It is, what time is it? 8:47, perfect. We got about 10 minutes left. I am actually gonna go over here and look at some questions. So if you have questions, PCs, whatever, put them up there. I'm gonna go ahead and switch my camera view so I can answer the questions with my keyboard, okay? So give me a second, I'm gonna move the cameras over, we're gonna switch the view, and then I'll be able to see. There we go. Let's go back to the normal daily paycheck view. By the way, if you're new to me, I have a show coming up in about 10 minutes called The Daily Paycheck, which you might want to watch. So glasses go on so I can read a little bit, and let's look at your questions and see if I can offer any clarity. So let me go ahead and do this. I'm going to go here. I'm going to type in Q first, capital Q. Let's see. When I do capital Q, what's funny is I look for questions because my software filters for the uppercase letter Q, and all I see is Frida because she's Queen Chief of Three Kings. So I see her, boom, all the time, right? So there's that. That always makes me laugh. Let's go to the PCs and see. I see that Ed Robinson's here, so that's good because if Ed Robinson's here, that means my title of the video was solid. And I hope, Ed, that I didn't step on anybody's toes with what I'm teaching here. This is not designed to be a par lesson or a real throwing lesson. It's about mental makeup and practice procedures thing. I hope that makes sense, right? I'm not trying to, I hope I didn't step on anybody's toes. I really just wanted to talk about the way that I practice and the things that I look at when I'm dialing myself in. And this is how I've gotten to where I've gotten to. And if somebody were to ever teach me the right way to do this, I would have more information to practice better. Hope that makes sense. Buckeye says, what mess, man? Dude, what you can't see is what's behind me. Behind me is the entire mess. I actually got new cabinets today to reform my whole one wall, but it's a disaster in here. So hit the O in the come, right? It's a little too short for me. I've tried that and it doesn't work for me at all. Let's see. You're right. Without a table, you can't do it. You can do it with the little tossing tables, but it's not the same. It just isn't the same as having the full table to work with. The feel is different. You need to have, like, for example, you got to have your hip dialed in here. Let me get that. Yeah, I got to have my hip into the wall. I got to feel the rail, and the rail's got to have pushback, right? The table here weighs 2,000 pounds. So it doesn't give, it pushes back to me. That's what you need, I think, to feel that. So, yeah, you're right. Everybody's swing is different, Waylon. The weight shift is different. The hip snap is different in every single sport. But there are keys to it to where when one kid does it his way and it works for him, I dial into that with the kid and say, look, that was a great swing, man. That was perfect. Like, how did that feel to you? And where are your hips in the end? We work with the kid on their adjustments. If a kid's a disaster, we start from scratch. But yeah, you're right. Everybody's swing is a little bit different. It's all personal, I think, for sure. So I don't see any more PCs or Qs in here. So I'm going to assume I did an okay job, or I ran you all off and like that was the worst show ever. So I hope that it was good. I hope you enjoyed it. Here's Replay Fan asking a question. Any input or explanation when you feel your toss was great? That's not for me to answer. This is going to be an Ed or an Alfredo question, okay? You can have the most perfect toss in the world and it ends up on a 7. That's what the diamonds do. The diamonds are there to screw you up. You have the most perfect toss, and if it lands a millimeter to the left or to the right and it hits the diamond, not in the very center of the die, you're going to have a random result. That's just the way that this works, right? But Ed and Alfredo will tell you that once you dial in and have this kind of consistent throw, release, landing, blah, 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 you can make adjustments to it, right? To accommodate for what you're seeing right now today at that table. Cashier's Cage says this too. When you're at your home table, all you can work on is your mechanics, right? Try to work on sets and results is folly, because at the casino, it isn't the same table. It's different. I can work on perfect mechanics, and at the casino, I can make my adjust. I can say, well, instead of tossing from directly in front of me, I'll toss from a little bit ahead of me because this table needs that, or this table needs me to be back here with my toss. Those are the things you adjust. That's why I use the height thing and the depth thing to kind of practice, okay, today I got to make a drop shot. Tomorrow I got to make a low shot. That's what Cage is. Cage is so good at teaching that stuff. That's the most important thing, I think, but you can't get there. You cannot do any of that until you have perfect mechanics. And your mechanics have got to be repeatable. I can throw my version of this toss right there, both dice in the cup, right? One bounced out, but they're both in there all day long. And it comes to a 7, they hit the back wall, and the back wall made them a 7, which is why the people who say dice control is stupid have a winning argument most of the times, because the back wall will screw you up. Cage will tell you, don't hit the freaking back wall, right? He rolls them up there, they kiss the bottom, they don't touch the diamonds the way he throws it. I'm not quite there yet. So there it is. If I'm so good at what I can't. Dude, I'm a good shooter. Like my toss, people have told me, oh my God, that toss is beautiful. I've had people in the casino follow me out to the parking lot wanting to know what I'm doing, right? It's such a pretty shot. Sometimes it's 3 rolls it out because the results aren't there. You know what I mean? It does not guarantee good results, a perfect shot. And I have to live with that, right? To me, it's part of rhythm. If I'm in the rhythm, and we talked about this, like the rhythm of betting. Like I got my my next bets are sitting here in the rack. I know if it's a 5, it's going to be 2 for 50 and all that kind of stuff. I know what I'm doing. That's part of it. The dice come back to me. I get them set. Change the weight. Come on down. Make my toss. Right. That's rhythm to me. And if it sucks and I get all 7s, I don't care. I'm in rhythm, and I feel like I got something going. That's a huge part of the mental game to me. I feel like rhythm is a big important thing. So. My show is showing Greenwich Mean Time on YouTube. Is it really? Really? I don't know why it did. Albert, I didn't know that. It shouldn't be doing that. It should be showing the correct time. I don't know why. That's really weird. I'll check that. Thanks for highlighting that. That's actually a weird thing. So, okay, let's call it here. It is, my clock is, speak of the devil, the clock is not showing. I'll put the paycheck sign up. Yeah, the clock ain't working right now. Let me refresh this. Refresh the timer. There we go, 8:54. That's good. Okay, that gives me 10 minutes to get new coffee and relax a minute before we start the actual show. So there we go, guys. All right. Thanks for watching, Cage. It was awesome having you here live. I know I didn't see anything you wrote until just now, really, because I can't see the screen when I'm doing all the walking around. But hope that was an enjoyable show. Hope that you got something out of that. Even if it wasn't about craps, if it was about your golf game, be a better golfer, right? Visualize, get that feel locked in, lock it all in, guys. I'll see you in about 10 minutes for paycheck if you're going to be here with me. I love you all. God bless, and I'll see you in a little bit. Thanks again.